Hello all. So yesterday evening it was quite much of a weather. It was raining pretty hard here. So it's quite sunny in the morning and then the weather turned around completely. Started pouring down like crazy in the evening. Similar were the markets of India yesterday or across the world. Across the globe. So yesterday morning IST when I say we're pretty much high, almost like we made all-time highs again in Indian benchmark indices. Then although we did close on a slightly lower note, but on a positive closing basis. And after the closing hours, when we saw SGX futures, they just crashed by almost 100 odd points to make the low of approximately 800 from 950 odd levels. So that was quite a scene. Although they recovered to this morning, then we'll just see what's going to happen over here. So that's that, and let me welcome you back to my channel. This is Govardhan Pinni. Thanks for tuning in. So over here we discuss about Indian benchmark indices with the global cues and the scenarios around that. So without any further delay, let's just jump into our Nifty charts. Hold on a minute. This is the Nifty chart in front of you. On the left it's Nifty spot and on the right it's Nifty futures. So yesterday morning we discussed that we might open around 15,830 odd levels, but we just opened around 15,870. 869 was the open. Yes, that was a point where we missed it. I'm not sure why the market sprang up by the opening at the opening point, but yes, we crawl back to 15,840 in the opening candle. That is where we made our low. To be precise, the low was 15,842 and then we sprang back up to all-time highs. That's 15,901 yesterday. So over there, like we discussed about the call writing that was present in the OI stats, we see that 15,900, it was a crisp resistance. We did fall down back to 15,850 levels. Over there we again took a slight support and crawled back to 15,900 levels. So whenever a resistance point breaches with good amount of volumes, or when there was a good resistance with volumes in terms of OI stats or be it any other indicator, what happens is the resistance point becomes a support point and the next resistance slightly becomes weaker. Over here we just saw the test day. So 15,800 was a slight 1:1 sort of resistance, or 1.2 to 1 was how it was there. It was present yesterday for every calls to puts. Then slightly as it went up, the shortest started covering their positions, and then 850, which was a resistance point, that turned down to become 900. So 850, wherever all the call writers present at 850 started covering their positions slowly and shifting their positions to 900, 950 and 16,000 levels. So when the position shift happens, the markets move higher. Yesterday that was what we experienced, so that is the reason why 15,850 turned to be a good support in the second half and in the later half, and 15,900 turned out to be a good resistance. So that was how yesterday what happened across Nifty. But on other note, let's see where we are heading today. So on the downside we have a gap today, and because yesterday open was pretty high, and we have a gap of approximately 45 odd points to fill. Where did we close yesterday? Yes, we closed around 15,869 where we opened, to be honest. So we have a gap of approximately 50 odd points, 58 points odd, to fill from Friday's close. So on that note, where are we headed? So the first support lies around 15,800 levels, like we discussed, followed by 15,720 and 750 and 720. since it's the support first the higher number. Okay, so next the resistance. What happens? All-time high again 15,900 is where we have the first resistance, followed by 15,950 and 16,000 now. Tomorrow is the expiry, so we might witness a violent move today, but nevertheless the VIX is pretty low, so we can't really say anything. Like we just saw yesterday, on Monday, there was, although the VIX was below 15, we saw that Nifty and Bank Nifty gave some amazing moves, like 300 points odd in one candle in Bank Nifty, that is in 5 minutes. Nifty gave around approximately 80 plus points in a 5-minute candle, so that is a big violent move. That was the reason why I'm stressing that keep your SLs intact or make your positions hedged, so that your loss is limited, although even your profit is limited. But at the same time, what happens is the part is your capital gets saved. So that's on Nifty's chart, friend. We just saw the supports and resistance levels also for Nifty. So let's just jump into OI stats for Nifty, where we are placed today. So the OI stats, right? The OI stats, yes, as we discussed, 15,900 is a good resistance, where 33,000 call contracts are written and put contracts by 14 lakhs and 33 lakhs. So that's on OI front for Nifty, and let's just see where SGX is placed right now. So SGX is currently trading around 15,830 levels. That's approximately 40 points below where we closed. Yes, to be exact, 40 points below to yesterday's close and Nifty's future. So we might hover around the same range and we might attempt to fill the gap that we had yesterday. And we just have to see whether this gap is going to be bought in, or it will just crawl back to the all-time highs. So that's on Nifty SGX part also. And okay, we have a surprise today. And what's the surprise? Okay, so what we did over here, we entered 17,000 put we bought of December 2021, and we sold 16,000 put of December 2021. So over here what happens is we have a net premium of, we paid a net premium of approximately 500 odd points here. So that would be the maximum risk over here. But if the market crashes from here, that's on the downside, we are going to close in profit at any given point, whether it just has to close below 16,500 for us to be in profit. So our ideal stop loss would be around 16,500 to 16,750 zones on spot levels. So until then we are pretty much safe on this strategy. And I guess our agenda is to make 10 to 20% of return on this particular trade. So currently we are sitting in a profit of approximately 1,000 rupees in this thing. So I'll just keep updating this position every day on what is going to happen. But in any case, if we are going to touch 15,400 or 15,000 levels in the recent days to come, in the coming days, we shall exit this position. So that's on the surprise that I was quoting. But aside that, let's just jump back to Bank Nifty and see what's happening at that front. So hey Bank Nifty, what's up? That's Bank Nifty spot, and let me just bring in the Bank Nifty futures. Okay, so on the left you see Bank Nifty spot, and on the right you see Bank Nifty futures. So Bank Nifty spot, it just followed Nifty, almost similar to the Nifty chart. And as we discussed, once the 35,000 level was crossed, 35,000 a minor resistance, and 35,300 another decent resistance. I wouldn't say exactly major resistance or minor resistance, because it's in the between levels of 35,100 and 35,500. It's just exactly in the middle. So I would say it's just sort of a decent resistance zone, and that is where we resisted yesterday, 35,300 odd levels. We tried a couple of times, but we couldn't get past the 35,300 mark. So that's on Bank Nifty's resistance. What happened yesterday? So the major support lies around 35,000 levels now, 35,000, 35,100, and the major resistance still lies around 35,500. So on that note, we could actually witness a very range bound zone if the index lies between these levels, but if either of the levels are broken, you're going to see fresh moves kicking in either sides, quoting on either sides. So yes, the primary support is around 35,000 and the primary resistance is around 35,500. So that's approximately a 500 point zone for today. And, that's on that point. And let's see where we are placed with Bank Nifty OI stats. So bringing in Bank Nifty OI stats for you. Oh, okay. So yes, like I just quoted, 35,500, there's heavy call rating present, and 35,000 is heavy put writing. So this is the range that we were discussing just now, and this is where we are going to likely oscillate between. And if there's no other big volumes that are kicking in and breaking these barriers and walls or something like this, banks of index marks, we are going to stay in these levels, and there would be a very significant or very significantly very low premium decay because the all VIX is already low. So that's on Bank Nifty OI stats, and yes, that's it for today. So we just discussed about Nifty, SGX Nifty, Nifty OI stats, Bank Nifty OI stats, and also a hedged position for Nifty. So yes, please drop a comment on how you felt, or if you need any further improvements, or if you want to discuss any other thing. So that's on that, friend. Also, let me just see, if you already haven't subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please go hit the subscribe button. Thanks a lot. Have a good trading day.